While we often think of the Mesozoic era as the time of the dinosaurs, it was also a pivotal period for insects. But how did they survive the end of the Age of Dinosaurs? While we tend to imagine the Mesozoic era as the Age of Dinosaurs, these gigantic reptiles weren't the only major players. Insects were also thriving during this time, laying the foundation for the diverse and abundant insect life we see today. The Mesozoic era lasted from about 252 to 66 million years ago. It is divided into three periods: the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. Although insects had been around since the Devonian period of the Paleozoic era, the Mesozoic saw major changes in insect life. At the beginning of the Mesozoic, during the Triassic period, most insects were small, less than 1 centimeter long, and many were detritivores, feeding on dead and decaying plant and animal matter. Some of these early insects were survivors of the mass extinction that marked the end of the Paleozoic, such as the silverfish. The ancestors of modern cockroaches and termites also appeared during the Triassic. As the Jurassic period progressed, however, insects began to diversify, with new groups of insects appearing that resembled modern beetles, butterflies, ants, bees, and more. It was during the Jurassic that insects started to form close relationships with plants, with some insects, such as the ancestors of modern bees, beginning to collect pollen. But it was during the Cretaceous period that insects truly exploded in diversity. This was due in large part to the rise of flowering plants, or angiosperms, which provided new food sources and habitats for insects. In fact, some of the oldest known fossils of flowering plants come from the Crato Formation in northeastern Brazil, which is also famous for its exceptionally preserved insects and amber. Speaking of amber, this Cretaceous period is also when the oldest known amber deposits formed, preserving a snapshot of ancient insects in tree resin. These amber fossils have been invaluable to our understanding of Cretaceous insects, showing us a wide range of species, including some of the oldest known ants and bees. Many of these Cretaceous insects were giants by today's standards. The largest known insect is an ancient relative of the modern-day stick insect, which could grow up to half a meter long. Another giant insect was the saber-toothed cockroach, which, as its name suggests, had saber-like teeth. And who could forget Meganeuropsis, the giant dragonfly with a wingspan of up to 40 centimeters, which was an apex predator, feeding on other insects and even small vertebrates. Insects filled various roles in Mesozoic ecosystems. Many were pollinators, carrying pollen from one flowering plant to another and ensuring their reproduction. Others decomposed dead organic matter, recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. And of course, there were those that chose violence, preying on other insects and even vertebrates. But despite their success, the end of the Cretaceous brought about by an asteroid impact wiped out many forms of life, including, of course, the dinosaurs. But insects were among the organisms that made it through, and there are several reasons for this. First, insects were already small on average, and this would have been an advantage as smaller insects require less food and water, making them easier to survive in a wide range of environments. Second, many insects were generalists, feeding on a variety of food sources, which would have been beneficial in a time of ecological upheaval. Finally, some insects, such as the ancestors of modern cockroaches and termites, were already adapted to life in dark, dank places, which may have offered some protection from the harsh environment that followed the asteroid impact. Whatever the reason, insects were essentially untouched by the asteroid impact and were poised to take over. In the Lacustrine period, we see the rise of the first birds and the first true mammals, neither of which would have been around had it not been for the insects that came before. Insects continue to be a dominant force in modern ecosystems, and without them, our world would be a very different place. So next time you see an insect, remember that it's not just a bug. It's a key part of our planet's history. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments. As always, thanks for coming along on this journey through time.